Hey everyone, it is another edition of our Thursday Dream Sessions. And before I jump into the dream session today, I do want to tell you about a huge event that we're doing on Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So, whatever time zone you're in, right? But it's the biggest event of the year that we usually do one time a year, and it's called our Giftology event. And you are invited. We have a registration link for you to fill out too. It's really quick, it's really simple, but we're going to be giving away tons, thousands of dollars in prizes from Marc Jacob totes, Kate Spade clutches, Stanley cups to Stanley tumblers, not Stanley cups, Stanley tumblers. Stanley cups, Nespresso machines, AirPods, Amazon gift cards, and so much more. And so you are invited to attend. It is a free event. It's going to be on YouTube. All you got to do is register, and then we'll send you the link for the YouTube link as we get closer to Sunday. Okay. So if you would like to participate and you want the registration form, please comment gift below, comment gift below so that we can send you the registration form so you can get registered for our Giftology event. I promise you, this is an event you don't want to miss. People walk away with tons and tons and tons of prizes. And it's perfect because the holiday season is coming up. And let's say you win like $100 Amazon gift card. Okay, go get your holiday shopping done there. But we're going to also be talking about some holiday gifts that you can purchase from your consultant as well, give you some ideas and some tips and all of that too. So definitely get registered. Comment gift below. Okay, gift below to get registered for our Giftology event, which is happening again on Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern. What is that? 7 o'clock Central and 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And it's going to be on YouTube. Okay. It's going to be on YouTube. The only way you can get the link is you got to be registered to get the link as well. Okay. So the dream session question tonight is, how do you enroll others into your goal, vision, or dream? Like, how do you enroll others? Now, remember, I talked about before, everyone might not need to know your goal or dream because they might try to talk you out of it, right? So you got to know who you can actually tell your goal or dream or vision to. And it can't be everyone, but you got to know who, right? Sometimes you can't even tell it to your spouse because if your spouse is a negative Nancy, right? Negative nanny. But if your spouse is negative, it might not, he may or she, whoever, might not be the right person to tell your big God audacious goal or dream to, right? You got to be careful who you tell it to. But when you know who you can tell it to, how can you enroll them into the goal, into the vision, into the dream? For one, they got to see that you're going after it. Because if they don't see you going after it, then they don't believe that this is something that you really want to do. So they got to see you going after it. And sometimes they need to hear you talk about it. And they need to hear you talk about it more than more times than not. They need to hear you say that, okay, we are completing blah, 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 blah. Okay, we are getting a house by the end of next year. We are moving into a house. I am going to be a house owner, or we are becoming financially free by the end of next year because I'm doing da, 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 da. We are finishing up the pink Cadillac by the end of next month because blah, 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 right? They need to hear you talk about it. But also, they need to know what the deadline is. Because if you don't have a deadline on a goal or a dream, then it's really not a goal. It's just a wish that's out there. And you're hoping, right? Hoping does not get you across the finish line. You got to have a deadline that you're working towards. And so, one, you got to be working towards it and they have to see that you're working towards it. Two, you got to talk about it because when they talk to you and you haven't brought it up in the last 5 conversations, then it's questionable. Like, okay, is that still really your goal? Is that still really your dream? Like, I don't know. I haven't heard you mention it. You haven't said like what you're doing. You haven't taken this step yet. You haven't, because they might give you some advice. They might give you some suggestions, some recommendations. And if they're good recommendations and suggestions and you haven't taken it, then it's like, okay, I'm not sure if that's really a goal or a dream or a vision that you're really working towards, right? So, one, you got to be working towards it. Two, you got to talk about it. Three, you got to have a deadline. Okay. You have to have a deadline and they need to know where your deadline is. And sometimes that's scary when you tell people your deadline because you might be nowhere near. You might not even be close to it. But the deadline holds you accountable. And that's the key. Because when there is no accountability, there is no accomplishment. without accountability. Okay. So the deadline holds you accountable. You got to have a deadline to that goal, that vision, or that dream as well. Okay. And then the last thing that I would tell you on helping or enrolling someone into your goal or vision is to know that this person right here believes that you can do it. You don't want to tell someone that believes in you, that's great, but if they don't believe that you can achieve the goal or vision or dream that you have, then they're not the right person to tell your goal or dream vision to. They believe in you, but they don't believe that you can do that, right? You got to have some people in your corner in your life that believe that you can do that. And that is so different than just believing in you. They got to believe that you can do that, because if they believe you can do that, it is going to help you with your belief as well. Because not only are you believing that you can do that, but you have someone else in your corner that's believing that you can do that also. So, those are the four things to help you enroll someone else into your goal, your vision, or dream, because you can't keep it to yourself. Right? You can't keep it to yourself. Someone needs to know. Someone needs to know your deadline. Someone needs to know what the actual goal, vision, or dream is. Like, someone needs to know to be able to hold you accountable. Yes, you can hold yourself accountable, but oh my goodness, the accountability is so much greater when someone else is looking at you and they're like, "You said you were going to do this by this date and this time," and we are like 2 days away. Like, are you going to get it done? Are you finished? What people will be willing to help you then? They'll be like, "Okay, I see that you're this close. So you've been working towards it, right? You've been talking about it all this time. I believe that you can do it and you're this close. What can I do to help you get across that finish line?" That's what you end up getting when you enroll others into your goal and vision. They are like, "Okay, what can I do to help you get there now?" Right? So don't stop working. It will all come together. Even if the goal, the dream, or the vision seem unimaginable, one step forward every single day and you will make it happen. All right. Have a good night.